Hello, this is Mr. Stein, and in this video we're going to look at section 6.5, the slope point form of the equation for a linear function. So after you're done this lesson, you should be able to graph a linear function that's given to you in point slope point form. Write the equation of a line. If I'm given a slope and a point it goes through, convert from a slope point form into slope intercept y equals mx plus b form. This is one of those few times where we don't go reverse. You're only going to go from slope point form into slope intercept form. You're not going to go from slope intercept to slope point form. All right, so let's take a look at the vocabulary and the basics. The slope point form of the equation looks like this. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Let's identify some of the parts. M, we should all know that's our slope. Y1 and x1 is the location of a point. And that point is located at x sub 1, comma, y sub 1. Notice that there are subtraction signs here. This negative sign then becomes a positive in our point. This is a negative x. It switches signs. So we're going to take a look at some examples and how to work with this. All right, so first off, y minus 2 is equal to 1/3 x minus 5. Okay, now what does this mean? Well, this means that we're going to have a slope equal to 1/3. And then it means we're going to have a point at plus 5 on the x. Notice how the sign switched. Negative became a positive. Same thing's going to happen here. This negative is going to become a positive. And plus 2. Now we can graph this equation here. So let's graph it. So we go to the point 5, comma 2. 5, comma 2 right here. We start at the point 5, comma 2, and then we do our slope. Our slope is up 1/3. And we can go the other way. That is our equation, y minus 2 equals 1/3 x minus 5. So, again, this is the slope. Switch the sign on this to get your x value for your point. Switch the sign on this to get your y value for the point. Now, we should be able to go the opposite way. Let's take a look at this line that's given to us right here. Take a look at this line. Let's write an equation for this line. Well, I choose any point that I know that's on this graph. Any point. Right there. That's an easy one. That's at the point 1, 3. Now I look at my slope. My slope is up 2/3. So my slope is equal to plus 2/3. Okay, now I should really choose a different color here. So for the equation for this line, I'm going to get y minus 3. Notice it was plus 3 here, so now it's minus 3 in my equation. Equals 2/3 x minus 1. Notice again, it was plus 1 here, so now it's minus 1 over there. Now, it doesn't matter which point you use on this line. Doesn't matter which point. They'll all work out to be the same equation once you simplify the equations. All right, so right here, this is the equation for this line. So you should be able to take an equation, create a graph. Take a graph, create an equation. Going both ways. Remember, these subtraction signs here tell you to swap the sign for the location of the point. All right, now, this is one of the few times where we'll just go one way in math. We're going to take our slope point forms and turn them into slope-intercept forms. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. There's a reason we don't go backwards. The reason is there's no real easy way to go backwards. It's pretty complicated. So let's take this one out. And again, our whole goal is to isolate y. So let's simplify the right-hand side by multiplying the 2 into our binomial. So y minus 3 is equal to 2x plus 8. Now let's add 3 to both sides to get y is equal to 2x plus 11. We are done. Now it's in slope-intercept form. Let's look at our second one. Our goal here is to isolate y. So let's multiply this 1/3 into our binomial here. Simplify our right side. Y plus 4 is equal to 1/3 x minus 2. 6 times 1/3 is 2. It's a negative times a positive is a negative. Subtract 4 from both sides to finish isolating y. 1/3 x minus 6. All right. Y equals mx plus b form. Let's take a look at this last one. Again, isolate y. So I'm going to simplify my right-hand side by distributing my negative 3 into my binomial. Y minus 5 is equal to minus 3x plus 21. Add 5 to both sides to get y is equal to negative 3x plus 26. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, you know, negative 3x plus 26 isn't hard to graph. I know my y-intercept. I know my slope. So why not just take every point slope form and turn it into y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form, and graph it? Well, it's because a lot of them don't end up being such nice points. Let's look at this one. Let's simplify this one. We get y minus 3 is equal to 2/3 x minus 2/3 plus 3 to both sides. And we get y is equal to 2/3 x plus 2 1/3. So I get a decimal or fractional number here, which isn't so easy to work with in y equals mx plus b form. All right, so I believe that's all for vocabulary and the basics. Yep. So you should be able to graph a linear function given to you in point slope form. So that looks like this. You should be able to take a graph, a line, and turn it into point slope form. And you should be able to convert point slope form into slope-intercept form by isolating y. All right, I hope you found this helpful.